Here we go.
Hello, DragonCon, how are you doing?
Good.
Are you excited to be back? Yes, me too. I have missed it. I'm so excited to see you all. It just wasn't the same. It was great last year, it just wasn't the same. So, we're gonna be having a Q&A. That's why you're here. We have Jen. Jen, where are you? Wave, Jen. Out there somewhere, there she is. And Amy, over here. They're gonna be taking your questions. We're gonna ask that you line up in a single file. Try your best to keep it to one question, succinct question at that. We have a lot of people in here. We wanna get through all the questions. Before I go to the next thing, let's give our volunteers a round of applause. Now they are working, they always work hard. They're working extra hard this year. So be kind to your volunteers, thank them when you get a chance. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this year, our charity is Big Brothers Big Sisters of Atlanta. You can find the information online. Please give if you can, if you're able. And DragonCon will match your contribution. So if you give $1, they give $1, it magically turns into $2. So give what you can. And there's also a virtual run, which also supports the charity this year as well. So the last question I have written on my card usually gets a pretty good response. Who here is a fan of Harry Potter? Well, you're in the right place. So coming up first, you may know this gentleman is an actor on TV, stage, and the big screen. He's been to DragonCon before, but it's been a while, so we're gonna welcome him back. He is also a huge, everything I Googled, huge fan of Leeds United football. But you probably know him as Neville Longbottom from the Harry Potter movies. Please, a round of applause from Matthew Lewis. But wait, there's more. You may know this next person from TV stage, the big screen. She's also a writer and a director. She's an advocate and ambassador for numerous environmental causes, which I think is absolutely awesome. Y'all, it is her first DragonCon. We gotta give her the warm welcome. You may know her as Ginny Weasley from the Harry Potter movies. Welcome to her first DragonCon, Bonnie Wright. All right, welcome to DragonCon. Thank you for joining us. As you see, we have a ton of fans. So we're gonna get started with the Q&A, but Matthew, you're playing Hades? Did I see you're playing Hades?
Yeah, I spent quite a lot of time playing PlayStation recently. I broke my leg about 5 weeks ago, so I've done absolutely nothing but sit and play PlayStation for 5 weeks. It's been pretty good.
I love Hades.
Yeah, the game.
It's such a good game. And Bonnie, before we go to the Q&A, do you know there are street signs in Atlanta with your name on them? Have you seen that? There is a Bonnie Road and like Wright Lane, and they intersect. And the signs literally, I'll show you in the back of the picture. It says Bonnie Wright. So, middle of Atlanta. So, if you get time, you may have to go check it out.
What neighborhood is it?
Highland, I think it's like 15 minutes away. A friend sent me the map, I'll show you. It's not far, you definitely gotta go. So let's get started with our Q&A. Do you guys have questions? Are you guys lined up? All right, but without taking any more time, let's go. Let's get it started. All right, they're starting on the right side. They're no, left side.
It's been like an eternity since I did anything like this. I don't even remember how this goes.
They're conspiring against you.
I got one for you.
All right, here we go.
All right. This gentleman here wants to know if you were going to leave a voicemail for a fan, what would you do? What would you say?
Probably just some abuse. just trying to figure out A, why they haven't answered the phone, and B, why they're not at whatever event it is that I'm recording this voicemail at. So they get a lot of abuse from me.
That's a good one. What would I do? If I wanted to see how much of a fan they were, maybe I would try. If I knew the whole language of Parseltongue, maybe I'd leave them a Parseltongue message, see if they could decipher what I was really trying to say. But unfortunately, I only know one thing in Parseltongue. So.
Well then. You can't say that and then not do it.
You know, I opened the Chamber of Secrets, right? So I like still know how to say it in Parseltongue. Okay, it goes like this. I also wonder if, like, over time, I think I remember it, but it might sound a bit different. It goes, Shia Sankata Saliti.
That's good, that.
Yeah. So watch out for my Parseltongue voice now.
Okay, Gwen wanted to know about any crazy things that happened during the Harry Potter filming where you had to adapt to something changing.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What was that?
Crazy things that happen during filming.
Yeah, something where like the ships go on and something had to happen that you adapted and things changed midway.
Plans changing on set.
What do you think?
This answer's going to sound so boring, but with something like Harry Potter, when it was obviously adapted from a book, and then the script goes through like so many screenings of things. So often you hear actors be like, "Oh, we ad-libbed this moment," or "We changed this because it wasn't working on the day." But Harry Potter was so different because it had to go through like 100 producers to like change one word in a line. So some things were like interesting if they had to be changed. It like rarely kind of happened. I learned that really when I left Harry Potter and did other films. I was like, oh wow, things shift and change on a script.
On other on smaller projects than I guess Harry Potter was. We didn't really have much freedom, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it was very by the book. But I guess things to adapt, I'm not sure.
I recall on the second film, Chamber of Secrets, I don't even know if this is really the kind of answer that you're looking for, but it's all I can think of. On Chamber of Secrets, we'd taken a little bit of a break, or I had, when they were filming other bits that I wasn't involved in, and I came back and I'd sort of, I think I'd begun puberty, and I had a little bit of a growth spurt that people probably, I guess, recognised more in Prison of Azkaban, but it actually happened at the end of filming of Chamber of Secrets. And so in the herbology lesson, I think that was like my last few weeks on set, they realised that I looked quite dissimilar to how I'd looked for the whole of the previous year's filming. And so they had to try and come up with some ingenious ways of filling my cheeks out, I guess is the best way to describe it. They put cotton wool in there, which is pretty grotty, I've got to be honest with you, that was horrible. And then they decided to do some like makeup sponges. You know the sponges they used to put like the foundation in your eye? They took a load of those and cut them up and just stuffed them in my cheeks like a squirrel hiding his nuts. Something that didn't just fill up with my own saliva. It was one of the most revolting things I've ever had to do. So I guess I had to adapt on that day. That helps.
Thank you for your question. I'm never going to watch those scenes the same again.
That's why I fainted. That's the truth of it.
All right, this gentleman would like to know, is there something that you filmed that didn't get put into the final cut that you wish did?
That you wish did make the cut.
How long have you got?
Also, if you want it, you can go to like what was in the book and wasn't even in the book. Then you got like a long. If only the movies could have been like 7 hours long, we could have really got everything in there. I did like a lot of B-roll kind of shooting in the Chamber of Secrets of like Ginny, possessed by Tom Riddle through the diary, and some of it got a little bit dark, so they didn't put it in the film. One thing that they didn't include, which actually was probably maybe a good idea, was obviously going again back to the Chamber of Secrets stuff, where all the like blood is written on the wall, like enemy of the air, beware, and all those things that Ginny writes. There's like a scene we did when we go into the Hogwarts chicken coop, and I kill a chicken in order to get the blood to write on the wall. And I was like, oh, I really don't think this is going to be in there. It was like a dark scene, there was like snow, and then I got a piece of this like fake snow like in the back of my eye. I remember that was a terrible day. So yeah, there was lots of different things that we did. The cut of what actually ended up was more just like me throwing the diary down the toilet in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom and stuff like that. I had to cut the chicken.
That's a shame. I'd like to have seen
Anyway,
that.
hold on the side of Ginny.
Just going postal on these poor chickens. I had quite a few scenes. There was I think one of them actually made it onto a DVD, I think, like when I got put in the leg locker curse, and I sort of was hopping into the Great Hall. And the main reason I wanted that to be in the film is because it just took so long. Like I was hopping up and down that Great Hall for like a week, and then it's never in the movie. But the one thing that I really wish that they'd kept in the films was Rick Mayall's performance as Peeves the Poltergeist, because we filmed all of it, and it was fantastic. He was so funny and just, I mean, he was just Rick Mayall, which, you know, that's all you need. But he was fantastic as Peeves. It would have been a really, really incredible part of the first film. And I think that we need to take a bit of responsibility for it, because it was because we couldn't stop laughing that most of it became unusable. There was nothing to do with Rick. His performance was outstanding, and I do wish, and I know that footage is somewhere, and hopefully one day it will find the light of day.
Xander wanted to know, specifically Bonnie, what your favorite part of the Harry Potter series is.
Ooh, that's difficult. I think on reflection, my favourite part of being in Harry Potter and Harry Potter was being a Weasley. I loved being a Weasley so much. I feel like all my favourite I felt like so special that I could have this Hogwarts family and like the Gryffindor stuff, and then I also had all these special moments in the Burrows, and I really loved that. And I think my first day on set, I was so nervous. I didn't know anything that was going on. I didn't understand like what cameras did, how a film set worked. And Julie Walters, who played my mum, was just so great. She was like from day one to the end, always just made me feel really at home. And yeah, all the Weasley stuff. I think at a time I probably didn't like my Weasley style, but actually I grew to love it. All the like hilarious knitwears and corduroys and all the tones of, like, probably tones I'm kind of into now, like these like browns and burnt oranges and these all lovely colours that I now have grown to love. And I think I just love what they stand for as a family. Yeah, so being a Weasley.
Okay, you want to stand up, thanks. He would like to know, is mostly for Bonnie.
Sorry.
You may have some insight, Matt. You might have some insight. So he's a movie only. So he wants to know kind of what do you think happened between Cho and Ginny? You know, between the timeline of Cho and Ginny to
The timeline.
make him love you.
The timeline, like their relationship, or like what happened between.
How do you think you won him over?
It was a slow burn, you know. I think it was no time. Just like left my jumper around the house, like wanting to bring it back to me. I mean, again, like in the book, there's like so many moments that like lead to their relationship and like why it kind of happens. These kind of moments of friction and tension that really weren't there in the movies, which was a shame. And therefore, it was quite hard to go from like 0 to 100, which it kind of felt a little bit in the movie. But I don't know, maybe he just had to get some things out of his system before he realized his true love was. I don't know, I guess, you know, I think I don't know what the crossover was, or like how it happened, you know.
Very good.
That wasn't a denial, was it? didn't deny that. You just said you didn't think maybe there was.
I just, you know, it's just ambiguous.
I have a question about how you guys feel about the increased importance and screen time of your characters in the later movies.
You're quite...
Good. Yeah, no, obviously, like, I mean, as an actor, you want to feel that your character is having an impact on the outcome of the story. You want to take a journey, and it wasn't I didn't enjoy being in the first films. That would be absurd. It's just that you want to feel like you're making a difference, basically. And as the films progressed, Neville got to do that. And I was so fond of him as a character and what he meant to people and what his story meant to people that it could become frustrating at times when we didn't have the space in the films for that story to get told in the way I felt like it deserved to be told. And so, by the time we got to the last movie, we got to really see the culmination of his journey and his arc, and really show that evolution, which I know means a lot to a lot of people. So, yeah, it was fantastic. I'm glad that we got to eventually see a lot more of Neville and what he means.
I agree. I think when you're suddenly kind of pivotal and more involved in like where the narrative is going and how that narrative is being pushed, and you're sort of more of a key player in that. And I think there was also like nervousness to it too. Like I think I was definitely nervous as the character did develop, because then you kind of want to sort of portray it or bring the right energy to how it's kind of perceived. And obviously by that point, I feel as the character was really growing, or especially like that shift of like Dumbledore's army, and suddenly it was like much more of an ensemble kind of cast. I think there definitely was a pressure at that point, slightly, because the movies had been going